Welcome to our new cow horse series. You know what? This is going to be an adventure, that's for sure. Well, for the last 20 years, I've really enjoyed watching the working cow horses from a distance. How athletic they are, the way they stop and turn on a cow, the way they cut, the way they rein. You know, working cow horses are truly an athletic animal. Very, very difficult sport because you're training a reining horse, you're training a cutting horse, and you're training a cow horse to go down the fence, all within the same horse. It's like the 3-day eventing for the English world, but it's 3-day eventing for the Western world. Extremely difficult event. I've kind of dabbled on the working cow horses, but I've never really had the time or the energy to be able to focus on it and really try to train futurity horses and older horses as well. Well, now that I've kind of backed off and I've kind of retired from down under, but now I've got the time and energy to focus on my performance horses, so I thought this would be a good time to do it. You know, I've always told people, I've been upfront about it, I've made a lot of mistakes with training horses. And I'd like to say I've only made one mistake with training horses, but I've made lots of mistakes. So on this particular adventure, I'm going to show you the whole learning curve. I'm going to make some mistakes, I'm going to do some things really well, some things not so well. We're not going to cut anything out. You know, this is a whole new skill set that I have to learn. You know, when you go, you know, I spent 20 years really focusing on the reining, and now you've got to learn a whole new skill set. So you've got to be able to humble yourself. You've got to be able to be willing to be frustrated at different times because you're not quite sure what to do. So in this particular series, I wanted to kind of walk you through that journey. How long that journey will take, I don't know particularly, but we're just going to start it and see how far we go with it.
Looking for inspiration? Follow us on Instagram. We'll take you with us and share the moments that make the method.
You know, the thing I love about the cow horse industry is the whole industry is really big on longevity. It's not just about the futurity. Futurities are important, but they've got futurities, they've got 4-year-old year, 5-year-old, 6-year-old year, 7-year-old year. You'll see a lot of bridle horses competing in cow horse classes very competitively, anywhere from 7 to 10 years of age, even older. You don't quite see that in the reining, not in the open level. You'll see rookie horses and non-pro horses with a little age on them, but typically most reining horses, by the time they're 5 or 6, they're kind of done. They don't really, you know, take them much further than that. And I love that about the cow horses, is that they're interested in a real they're interested in the longevity of the horse, both mentally and physically, keeping that horse to have a long show career, to where he's sound, he's happy, he enjoys what he does, and the horses have a lot of productivity. They have a job to do going down the road. I have a lot of respect for the cow horse trainers because it's a very difficult, in my mind, it's much more difficult than training a reining horse. Even though the reining is kind of more precise in some areas, but the fact that you've got 3 separate events to train for in one horse, you have to be very, very careful about how much time you spend on each event, how much you're working on. You know, if you're really good in one event and you suck at the other 2, it's not going to turn out real well. That's kind of what's happened to me the last couple of times I've tried to show cow horses. I do really well in the reining, but when it comes to the cutting or the fence work, I don't do very well because it's not my strong point. So I'm going to have to learn a whole new skill set. I'm willing to do that. You know, I always say, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. I got to get uncomfortable. I got to learn new skill set. I've got to put myself out there to learn new things. So I'll try to share that journey with you. You know, one thing that people really enjoyed about the Titan series is that we left it all on the table, okay? We didn't cut any of the bad things out. Whatever we filmed, we aired. And we're going to do the same thing with this cow horse series as well. We're not going to just turn the cameras on when everything's perfect. You know, there's going to be some things that the horses do really well, and there's going to be some things that the horses do kind of crappy and not very well. We're going to let the cameras roll, and we're not going to edit any of that out. People love genuine and authentic. Okay, that's what they're attracted to, genuine and authentic. So we're going to give that to people just like we did with the Titan series.
Anything worth having is worth working for, that's for sure. Not gonna make it here if you got any quit in you.
This is where I needed to be the best that I could be. And that's just what we do here.
Dedication, ambition, passion,
To some, these are more than ideals. They are a lifestyle, a code, a path to something greater. If you think you're one of the select few who can rise to the challenge, who can dedicate themselves to mastering the method, let the Clinton Anderson Academy catapult your skills and provide you with the ultimate experience. If you have what it takes, become a Clinton Anderson certified clinician and change your life.
So my training model is quite a bit different from most horse trainers that do it professionally, meaning that most professional horse trainers, you call them up, say, hey, I've got a 2-year-old, I want to put it in training for the futurities, derby horse, etc. What do you charge? This is the horse, and if they have an opening, they'll take your horse. So basically, you send them the horse, they'll train it. If it's good enough, it competes. If it's not good enough, it has to go home. I'm doing a little bit different business model than that, okay? I don't take horses in from the outside public unless I get to actually pick the horse or buy the horse for you, okay? Because I've got a much smaller barn. We only start between 10 and 12 2-year-olds a year. So Kristen Hammaker, my professional clinician, she typically trains all the 2-year-olds her entire 2-year-old year, and I train the horses that are 3-year-old and older. So I ride about 10, 12 horses a day from 3 onwards. Now, I typically will ride 1 or 2 2-year-olds every day, and I'll rotate them. Every couple of days, I'll get another 2, just so I can feel them every day and see what they're up to. But she primarily does the 2-year-old year. What I'm getting at is I don't start with a lot of numbers. Most reining horse trainers or cow horse trainers, they'll have anywhere from 25 minimum to a lot of them have, 50, 60 horses in training. And they usually have 4 or 5 different assistants helping with that and training the horses. And that business model works, there's no doubt about it. There's been a lot of successful people run it. I just don't want a big business model like that. I want it to be small, intimate. I want to be able to know each horse. I want to be able to know each customer. I want to be able to keep my eyes on every horse and see what's going on. So with doing that, I've got a lot less numbers to choose from. So I feel like I have the best odds of having the best horses compete on if I can go buy the quality of stock that I want. Now, for many years, I've bred my horses. I've enjoyed breeding. I had an NRHA Hall of Fame mare, Princess and Diamonds. She's produced over $1 million of earners now. So I've been very successful in the breeding aspect, okay? But I've sold all my brood mares now, and I focus now on buying yearlings. Why? I want to be able to pick the sex of the horse, pick the color, pick the conformation. When I can only start 10 to 12 colts a year, I've got to start with the very best 10 I can find. So when I can go cherry pick them and go hand pick those colts, I feel like I have a much better chance of finding the colt that will do better than if I'm just taking, 30, 40, 50 horses in from the public and running through them like a factory. No, 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 yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes, no, no. And again, I'm not saying that business model won't work. It just won't work for me. I don't want a big factory anymore. I've had that with Downunder Horsemanship. In our peak, we had 40 employees. So I've had that big business model before. I want to keep it small to where I can keep my hands on it and know exactly what's going on. So what I do is I tell customers that want to put a horse in training with me, we got to go buy one. Typically, I like to buy yearlings or late yearlings, okay? On the rare occasion, I'll even buy a weanling. The budget I tell customers is low end $30,000, high end $60,000. So between $30,000 and $60,000, we can typically buy a really well-bred yearling that is, mothers want a lot of money, fathers want a lot of money, fathers are producers, mothers are producer. Now sure, you can spend a hell of a lot more than $60,000, but as a general rule, between $30,000 and $60,000, you can find some really talented yearlings. Why do I like yearlings? I don't want anybody else to start them. I'm very particular about my horses, the way they ride, how soft they are, how supple they are, how relaxed they are. Anytime I bought 2-year-olds, I've just never had much luck with other trainers, just to be perfectly blunt with you. I'm typically buying somebody else's project. And so if the horse ain't going to make it, I only got one person to blame, which is me. I'm the only one that's touched it, so to speak. So I like to buy yearlings. I'm not saying I would never buy a 2-year-old, but it would be a rare case that I would step up and buy a 2-year-old. I think yearlings, I have a much better chance of success. See, when you train horses for the public, you don't know what people are going to bring you. That's why it's a numbers game. That's why most trainers in cow horses or reining have a large barn, because they're going through those numbers. They're sorting through them. Because when somebody brings you a horse, you have no idea of their conformation, you have no idea of its bloodlines, you have no idea, is it even built the way you want? But most trainers will try it. They want to try as many as they possibly can. So they'll go through a lot of horses until they find one that they think will fit the criteria of what it takes to be a champion. And that business model works, it's just not the model that I'm choosing to do. I want low numbers, high quality. That's what I'm looking for. Low numbers, high quality. So the two yearlings that I picked to do this showcase on is this video series is Tyrion and Hulk. Tyrion is, I bought him as a yearling stud colt at the Snafflebit Futurity last year's sale. They have a sale every year at the National Cow Horse Association Futurity. Tyrion cost $100,000. He was the high-priced horse of that sale. Everybody knew he was the best horse there. It was funny, you know, great horsemen all kind of picked the same horses, meaning that, years ago, there was only a handful of guys that could really pick good yearlings. Now there's a lot of horse trainers out there and guys that can pick the conformation, pick the bloodlines, pick that, what we call the look, but they just walk in there. Everybody had their eyes on Tyrion. I was drooling over him. 4 or 5 other trainers were drooling over him. So when Tyrion came in the sale ring, it just got real quiet real quick. Like everybody knew that this was going to be big and this horse was going to sell for a lot of money. I was very lucky and fortunate that my customer, Paul Gober, believed in me enough to pick the horse and believed in the horse enough that he paid $100,000. He was the last bidder and took the horse home. And I feel very privileged to be able to train a horse like Tyrion. So Tyrion's by Dual Smart Ray, a very successful cutting horse, produced a lot of nice horses. So he's got that blood in him to do well right off the beginning, okay? So when we saw Tyrion at the sale, he just had a presence to him, just how he'd stop and roll back over his hocks in a round pen and how pretty a mover he was and the way his neck came out. You know, again, the easier you can make your job as a trainer, the better. So when I'm picking an individual that is very balanced kind of horse and has the mental capacity, meaning the athletic ability and the trainability to do the job, I'm already starting off with an advantage in my mind. Hulk, I bought him a couple of months ago. He was 2 when I bought him, but he hadn't quite been started yet. So even though he's technically a 2-year-old, he hadn't been ridden under saddle, okay? So Hulk is by Metallic Cat. Very talented horse. His full brother won $150,000. His mother won $50,000 in the cutting. He's bred to do it. He's just got that look to it. So you can tell both horses just have an overall C pattern to the look of them. You know, ass underneath them, head and neck down. They've just got a roundness to them. I don't want to buy a yearling that walks around with its head and neck stuck up like an ostrich and its back is hollow, its ass is stuck out behind it, its neck is stuck up. We're looking for horses that form like a C pattern. You could envision it being rolled up in a bowl, like when they're stopping. A great stopping horse looks like that. Its butt's underneath it, its head and neck is down, and it's bowled up. So we're looking for that type of conformation going into it, okay? Prettiness of a horse is an important part. You know, they always say, pretty is as pretty does. And I'm going to not deny that. A horse that walks in the pen that's a little ugly, when he stops hard, turns hard, works a cow good, when he is outstanding athlete, he sure looks pretty damn sexy at that point. So I'm not going to say pretty is as pretty does, okay? But I will say this. The level of competition now is so high and so particular that you've got to walk in on a pretty one to begin with. When you walk in a pen with a judge, the judge is judging you right from the time you walk in the pen. Even though you haven't started the reining pattern or you haven't started working a cow, he's looking at you. He's looking at the horse. He's looking at the overall picture. So when you walk in there with a horse with a little pretty head on him, little ears, you know, beautiful, got some chrome on him, got some color on him, you know, he's just a really cute individual horse, pretty horse, it makes that judge go, wow, that's an attractive horse. You know, people are going to think I'm a dick for saying this, but I'll say it anyway. It's like when a beautiful woman walks into a restaurant, everybody looks at her. Most women wish their husbands wouldn't, but the truth is, they fucking do, okay? It's simple as that. Pretty is pretty. When she walks into the restaurant, everybody looks, okay? That's what a pretty horse is. When you walk into a show pen, you want the judges to go, wow, this is really something nice. Now, the horse has still got to perform. No doubt about it. If he doesn't perform, he's getting axed out of the competition pretty quickly. But man, it sure helps to start with an eye-catching horse that's going to catch the judge's attention. I believe I'm starting with two nice prospects. They're bred to do their job. They've got the confirmation to do their job, whether they can do it or not, or how good they're going to be. A lot of horses can compete, but we're looking for what I'm doing is horses to compete on the highest level possible. So unless they can fit that criteria, you know, they'll be moved on. They'll either become signature horses or they'll be sold as a non-pro horse that can compete at a lower level. It doesn't mean the horse doesn't have any value or not usable anymore. It just means we don't want to train them unless we have a chance of competing with the best.
Connect, share, get motivated, and stay informed. Follow us on Facebook and take us along for the ride that leads to better horsemanship.
So as we film these horses, our goal is to film them every 60 days, okay? This series is really just a guideline on how to train a working cow horse, okay? It's not going to tell you the only way to train a horse. I'm not even going to say this is the best way to train a horse. I'm just going to tell you it's the way that I do it, the way that I enjoy to train horses. Okay, so each horse is an individual. So you might like some of the things I do, you may not like some of the things, but overall, I bet there's something in there that you can apply to your horse that will make him a better horse. So this training series is not going to be like step by step how everything else is in my method, okay? We're not going into every little detail of how we taught the horse to do it. This is kind of like a general overview of how I'm training my performance horses. I highly encourage people to get the Downunder Horsemanship app. It's free. Whether you got an Android or Apple phone, it's absolutely free. There's over 100 hours of free training information on the app. Now, if you become a No Worries Club member and a premium member, it's $39.99 a month, but you get access to all of my kits, all of the professional series, all of my DVDs, all of my TV shows, etc. So the advantage of being a premium member is you can move through fundamental, intermediate, advanced, and then into the professional series as well. So everything that I'm going to show you is going to be in one of those kits, okay, in detailed lesson, the 8 steps of success, etc. The advantage of having the app is you can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your iPad, you can watch it on your computer, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, I mean everywhere. It's accessible now wherever you go. It's absolutely been the best thing that we've ever done now is release the method on the app. You know, it doesn't matter what country you belong to or you live, within 3 clicks on your phone, you can have the material right there at your fingertips. You know, our goal is to be able to film both horses all the way through their entire training process, which could be, 3 to 4 years from now. Reality is neither one of them may make it. They seem very promising now as 2-year-olds, but we're in the early stages of it. So what we'll do is we'll take this series as far as we can, as long as the horses are enjoying their job, they're training well, they're getting better, and we feel like we have a good shot at having a competitive horse at the end of it, we'll keep going.
Want more? Get more. The No Worries Club is the best way to get the most out of your training experience. Stick around to find out more.
Hey mate, Clint Anderson here. For the past 20 years, I've devoted my life to creating the best training tools and videos available to help bring my method to you. But there's only one problem. You can't bring your TV into the arena. That's why we've been hard at work developing a new platform to deliver the method to you in a whole new way. A way that brings 20 years of horsemanship and puts it in the palm of your hand. Introducing the mobile method. It's part of the new Downunder digital experience, and it makes learning the method easier than ever before. Let me show you how it works, mate.
Now you can always have access to the method, even when you're on the go or at the barn. The Downunder Horsemanship app gives you access to your digital training kits and allows you to download videos and training content directly to your mobile device or view them on your computer. The Downunder Horsemanship app also offers over 86 hours of free, in-depth training content. No Worries Club members will have full access to Clinton's ever-growing training library and a massive amount of members-only features and information. And the best part is, you can view and interact with each lesson on your mobile device or computer, giving you ultimate access to the method anytime and any place.
The method is the key to getting the most out of your partnership with your horse. We want everybody to experience the difference it will make. That's why we created 3 new ways for you to get the training content you need at the price you want. Our basic level allows you to purchase and download training content to your device at our standard price with no annual fee. When you become a No Worries Club member for $19.99 a month, you get up to 50% discount on any of your purchases. Plus, you get 8 digital videos and 4 digital journals a year, and access to the No Worries Club website, the largest collection of method material and resources in the world. Plus, you can become part of our social network and chat with thousands of other folks just like you. If you want the ultimate experience, mate, the premium membership is for you. You get all the benefits of the No Worries Club, a printed copy of our No Worries Club quarterly journal, and access to all of the method and the professional series kit training videos. Altogether, that's thousands of dollars of horse training and 20 years of horsemanship delivered right to your fingertips. So there you have it, folks. The new mobile method app is the easiest and most effective way to deliver the maximum amount of knowledge at a minimal amount of time. And with the new No Worries Club, you can be assured you're going to get exactly what you need at a price that's right for you. It's a free download, so what are you waiting for, mate? Get started today.
Start your digital training experience today. Visit our website and download the Downunder Horsemanship app to experience the method in a whole new way.